What's up everybody, it's Joe with J Blake Photo. In my last video, we talked about the fact that I was going to be making some changes to my office here, my home office where I film a lot of my videos. I also talked about the fact that I might be making some changes to my YouTube channel, and I wanted to do some thinking about that and take this kind of as an opportunity to see what I wanted to end up doing long term. And I ended up having more people reach out to me about that video than almost any video that I've ever done, probably because I was talking about some more personal things and what my plans were for the future and really kind of how YouTube has been doing. So in this video, I want to talk about how the flooring went, how the potential changes to this studio space are going, and how my thinking is going about this YouTube channel and what the long-term plans are for it. So first things first, on the floors themselves, the morning after I made that video, the flooring company came in and I had ordered the flooring that was going to go into this space. It was designed to match what I had in the hallway so that everything would look really seamless and nice. And they came in moving super fast, ripped out all the floor in here, pulled off all the baseboards, and then they opened the boxes and it wasn't the right flooring. So we ended up having to order a whole new set of floors for this room because, come to find out, what I had ordered, while the number was accurate, the company that makes the floor no longer makes what I thought I was ordering. And because of the way that they changed their model numbers, I ordered what I thought was the right thing and ended up getting something totally different. But fortunately, the folks at Paradise Flooring here in Las Vegas were super great, and they helped me find a flooring style that was super close to what I had before. So we went with that. They only took about a week to get it ordered, in stock, and then installed. So that was really great. And now it's in and it's ready to go, which is great for me because I about had a heart attack when I realized that I was about to have an appraiser come through and appraise my home because we were in the middle of a refinancing on our mortgage. And if you've ever been through buying a home or going through a refinance on an existing home, you know that you don't want any weird hiccups like that. No major changes, especially when you're down to the wire, which is where we were at that time. So now fast forward about a month and everything is in, baseboards returned. I did a little bit of touch-up painting in the room, and I have moved most of the furniture back into the room. Now I know that I had talked about making a couple of changes to the layout of the room, and I did just a little bit of that, but I really didn't change much. But the two things that I really did change were, number one, the legs that I had on each of my tables to give myself a little bit more room. I've got these straight legs on the bottom of these tables that are adjustable up and down instead of the sort of sawhorse style leg that I had before, which looked really nice, but it took up quite a bit of floor space. And the second thing that I did was I changed the main light that I use on top of my desk. So I'm now using a 24-inch softbox from Godox, and I do have a Godox light. It's an SL60, which is an inexpensive LED light. And I previously had this 36-inch gigantic octabox above my head, which I actually really like this light, but as you can see, it's huge. I pulled the mount off of it. That's why it looks like that. So it's also an inexpensive modifier. It's a newer NEWER 36-inch with a grid inside it. Very nice. It softens the light quite a bit, but it's not only very large, it's also very deep. And in this room, I only have 8-foot ceilings. And with only 8-foot ceilings, I only have so much room to move my light and the modifier up and down from my ceiling. And that was a really big modifier. It didn't give me a whole lot of room to move my desk around or to move the light around without it hitting the ceiling. So I did move to the 24-inch square up here, and it's working really, really well. I haven't really noticed a significant difference in the softness of it. But what I do like is that instead of it coming from the side as much, I can actually put it more above my head, and I like the variability that I have to be able to move it around. You can actually see that I can move it even higher up if I want to, and I can just move it as I wish, which is a lot better than what I had. Those are really the main two big changes that I made, the light and the bases for my desks in this room. But as I'm sure you've already heard, this room is very echoey now. So what I'm gonna be doing now is I'm going to be putting up these reflective panels. So you can actually see I've already got one right here, already on the wall. That was just kind of a test to see how I would wanna put them up. And so these are basically just, they feel like pressed felt, but they definitely do a good job of dampening the sound, dampening the echo. There are a lot of different ways that you could potentially put sound dampening into a space that you're using. You could do something as simple as hang a blanket or over a curtain rod, or put something on a curtain rod like a blanket or something thick like felt. That actually does a phenomenal job. Moving blankets, if you've ever seen those thick moving blankets that you get, you can buy them at the hardware store, you can buy them at Harbor Freight or any sort of discount hardware store, and they do a phenomenal job at limiting the reflection of sound. The other thing that you can do is just put other things on the walls that don't have super hard surfaces. Now in this room, I have wood on the floor, I have wood desks, there's nothing on the walls really right now, and so there are a lot of very hard surfaces that the sound is reflecting off of, and it's making it bounce and sound very harsh. Another option that you can take is those foam kind of crate material, and you can glue or double stick tape or tacky those to your wall or whatever surface that you have. Another option, honestly, is just to, if you've got a hard surface right underneath you that you're gonna be talking into, is just throw a towel down underneath you on your desk or your surface, and that will actually dampen the sound as well. So I'm gonna get to work throwing these up here. I've actually got two different colors. I got the white ones and the black ones. I'm gonna put the white ones actually up on the ceiling, and I'm gonna put the black ones on the wall. And we'll see if we can reduce some of this. We can reduce some of this echo. Oh, one other thing that you can do, which I am going to do, is to put down some sort of carpet or soft material. So I've actually got a rug that I'm gonna bring in here in just a little bit, and it's gonna go right where I'm sitting. That'll also change the amount of echo and reflection that we get on the sound in the room. One more way that you can reduce the overall reverberation and echoing in the room like this is if you've got windows. This is a very hard surface. This is definitely gonna reflect sound. So I have these rolling shades that I can pull down, and they're much softer, and they definitely reduce the amount of sound that I have in the room. They also let me control the lighting. The other reason that I really like to be able to close the shutters, again, is because I can control the light in here. And so now I can control my camera setting. And because the light outside can be variable, having that closed allows me to just kind of keep the light the same no matter what here in the room. So I've got my hue lights on, which I can control from my phone. And now I'm gonna turn on my big light, and I do that with a remote control. I've actually got this light set to 35%. That's really as high as I ever need it to go. So now that I've got those lights on, I'm actually gonna move this desk out of the way. That's another big advantage of having the different desk legs on here. One thing that I would strongly recommend is if you're setting up your own studio or a shooting space, even if it's in a small room like this is only about 11 by 12, is do your best to make the room or the space flexible so that you can modify whatever it is that you're trying to do based on your needs. So everything that I have in this room, I have on these sliding coasters, and I can really just kind of move everything around really easily. So with a little bit of work, I can move my stuff out of the way so that I can put these panels up. I'm gonna try to make them as level as possible, but they don't have to be perfect. All right, so now that I've got these panels up, I can already hear the difference in the room. It's not huge, it's a little bit, but mostly I'm gonna be talking in this direction. So anything that I can get is gonna help. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these white panels that I have and I'm gonna put them on the ceiling. Now I'm not able to put them all up right now because I'm gonna run out of command strips. I'm just using 3M command strips to put these up on the ceiling. Nothing super special. I use these all over the place. These are amazing. If you're not using command strips, get command strips. I don't know. If you don't have command strips, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Now, one thing I really like about this setup is that this screen is now on a fully tiltable arm. So I can bring it up and down, I can bring it back and forward, and if I want to, I can even rotate it 90 degrees. But the reason that I really like that is because I can actually move the screen completely out of the way if I need to. And then I have where my camera would normally sit right over here. Now, the reason that that's really important is because now, with the camera right in front of me here, I can utilize things like a teleprompter. So I've used this teleprompter before. This is called the Padcaster. And ironically enough, it's called the Padcaster, but it doesn't fit an iPad. It's actually only designed to have an iPhone kind of slipped into this little slot here, and then this slides onto the camera. The problem with this is that not only is it small, but it's kind of difficult to manage. And I had to have the camera in a special place. But now with this setup, I don't have to worry about the screen. I can just kind of slide it out of the way. And I can, if I want to, in a shot like this, I can have my MacBook right down in here in front of me, or I can show things off on my desk. I can tilt this down a little bit. I can do all sorts of things. The other thing that I can do is I can use this, which is a new and slightly more robust teleprompter. Now you might ask, well, what do I need a teleprompter for? Well, when I do the news and review videos, I like to have my script ready so that I can not forget anything, so I can really read my notes. And so I plan on doing a review of this and this kind of side by side, and the app that I use for both of them. And then I've also got access to my microphone if I need it, though I normally only use these for video calls and live streams. Speaking of which, I'm going to adjust the lighting in this room just a little bit because that is a bit much. Oh, that's better. So now that my office is better set up, even though I've still got to put a rug in here because there still is some echo, and I need to replace the light that I broke when I moved all my stuff, it's time for me to get back into making videos. And I sort of have to still decide what kind of videos I want to make. I want to get back into doing more photo and video editing and tutorials on that. I really enjoy doing that, as well as reviewing products. I actually have a whole bunch of products that I need to review and that I need to get out. I've got some lens reviews that I need to finish. I've got a tripod review that I'm doing, some filters that I'm working on, and then also I still have to finish my review of the Canon EOS R6, as well as going over the new 1.3 firmware that we just got on the camera that upgraded the log 3 in that camera. So there's a lot for me to do. I'm gonna try really hard to set a personal goal to try to release 2 videos per week. And what I'm gonna shoot for is Mondays and Fridays, where over the weekends I shoot and do some fun stuff, and that comes out on Mondays. So if I'm going out and photographing something over the weekend or going out on some sort of adventure, that's probably gonna be a Monday release. And then Fridays will be various reviews or how-tos depending on what I'm able to get done during the week. So my hope is to be able to stay on a twice-a-week schedule to be able to post videos on Mondays and Fridays, again, depending on how busy the week gets and what other fun stuff I'm able to get done. Being able to post here, whether it's once a week or once a month, this is kind of part of my self-care routine. Sometimes it's stressful. It's definitely a challenge, and it presents all of its own issues, but the process is what I really enjoy. And I hope you enjoy it too. If there's some specific items that you're looking for or that you'd be interested in seeing on this channel, go ahead and put it down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. At the same time, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at jblake.photo. And then also, if you haven't seen my website, I just recently redid it. Just to simplify it, make it easier, it's jblake.photo. It is a Squarespace site, though I am not supported by Squarespace. I do plan on doing a review of Squarespace, unbiased, to show how easy it was for me to put my website together, because there were some things that were not as easy as I would have liked. I also want to go over my platform for distributing photos to clients, which is Shootproof. And I want to do a review of that because I really think it's a great product, and I'd love to hear from others on what they're using to manage their photos. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you in the next video, which should be Friday.